And we are recording. Anna, great
Hi,
to
Ron.
see you.
Good morning.
Hey, can you tell the world a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Sure, I'm Anna Pollock. I've been a tourism consultant now for longer than I care to say, but 40 years. My company is Desticor, and I've spent half of my working life in Canada, which happens to be where I am right now, and the other half in Europe, based out of the UK.
Excellent,
Um,
excellent. Now tell us a little bit about some of your pioneering work and the things that you were writing back in the 1990s.
well, I've worked in all aspects of tourism, marketing, education, a lot of work in technology. But under my sort of underlying concern and interest is two things. Number one, how can we ensure that tourism does more good than harm, and are we being honest enough about some of the negative consequences of tourism? So that's been an underlying theme. And I guess I've been interested in sustainability pretty well ever since, throughout my entire career. Big turning point for me was back in 1989 when I attended a Parter event in Bali, and it was quite moving for me because I had the privilege of visiting Bali back in 1973, if you can imagine that. There was no electricity on the island, so it was totally untouched by Western culture. 5,000 visitors a year, got completely immersed in the most magical, mysterious, and stunning culture, and had an absolutely amazing experience. They call it an immersive experience now. And I didn't get to go back to Bali until 1989 to the Parter conference, and was exposed to Nusa Dua, what I consider to be a sort of tourism ghetto, and was exposed actually to how so-called tourism professionals were behaving, and the impact of development on the country. So I began to realize, that there were some issues that we really had to address. And at that conference, there was a really fantastic young man. I forget his first name, but his name was Kennedy. And he was the son of Ian Kennedy, one of the Parter founders in the Pacific. And he sort of did the same kind of speech that David Suzuki's daughter, Severin, had done at the United Nations, and really woke everybody up and gave them a real blast of thinking about, how much of this growth was sustainable. And then I watched everyone be moved by that, and then spend the next 3 days basically avoiding the issue and diluting the issue and getting back to the real business of the economy. So that's when I really sort of started thinking and writing.
Let me
And I
ask you,
wrote
let
the
me,
first. Sorry, I'm talking too much.
no, you're talking, well, what you're saying is great, but are we waking up?
I think we are now. I think there's a fantastic reason for encouragement, but it's coming from the grassroots more than it's coming from the top. We're seeing, this huge surge of interest in responsible travel. We've got geotourism. We've got a lot of operators around the world really thinking seriously about how they can run their business without it having a negative impact. I'm really encouraged, actually, at what is bubbling up. I don't think that awareness that you can continue to grow tourism at 4 to 5% per annum and call that sustainable on a global basis, I don't think that discussion's happening at, let's say, the top UN, WTO, WTTC. Really, I don't think they've opened up the debate.
Is there a way to open up those doors?
Sorry?
Is there a way to open up those doors to that type of conversation?
Well, I think, right now, yesterday we had World Responsible Tourism Day, that people are chipping away at it. But I think the big paradigm shift that's taking place outside of tourism, and it's affecting tourism, we're all in one society, is that change is not going to come from the top. It's coming from the grassroots.
My crystal ball is telling me the same thing.
Oh, good.
We'll continue this conversation. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome. It was great chatting with you, Ron.
We'll chat more.